Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back then to the final race of this weekend's DTM here at the Nürburgring GP. And while the final race is one of the support classes, it is the Porsche Sprint Carrera Cup Benelux. So this is, we've had two races already this weekend, and the race wins went to Luke Hartog, who is a pro driver, and indeed Morris Schuring, who is also a pro driver. 15-year-old Morris gets a win, and 17-year-old Luke gets a win. Neither driver are in this championship, so neither driver will be on the grid. So there's your pole sitter. It is Carlos Rivas, who really did get his braking sorted after race one in race number 2. And now this is a longer format race. We've got a 55-minute race for you. There is a pit window as well between minute 25 and indeed minute 35. So there are two teams that have got two drivers. So they will be forced to change their driver mid-race here. All of the drivers have to sit in the pits for 120 seconds. So that means that no one is disadvantaged in terms of drivers changing for another, teams changing for another driver. So Jean-Pierre Verhoeven is the father and son combination, and Jackson is the son. So those two will be changing positions. And they are in the number 9 car. And then we have another car in the GT4 class. In the Clubman Sport class, we've got the Sven Van Leer and Ayrton Redant. Ayrton Redant then is the son of the team owner. So those are the two teams that will be changing their driver during this race. As you can see, the Porsche pace car is ready to rock and roll here. And wow, this should be a very, very interesting race indeed. Two classes all in one race. A longer format here as well. So will we see a hasty start here into turn number 1? They're racing drivers after all, so absolutely we will. That is absolutely going to be a fact. But as you can see then, all of the red lights are indeed on here. And it's actually a rolling start this time. So they've had 2 standing start sprint races this weekend, but now they are indeed on a rolling start. And actually, we're waiting for the front 2 to go. There's some of the fans in the stands. Again, great to see some fans watching here from the stands. And there we go, the green light has indeed gone out. So Carlos Rivas then is the man at the front racing for Black Falcon. And then livery of the weekend for me is Jellison racing for PG Motorsport. It'll be Hoob van Eindhoven then in 3rd spot, racing for JW Racer Service. But again, we'll get all of this officially confirmed on your screens, make it easier for you at home watching. Should be a good spectacle, should be a really good race, and indeed the 2 pros were definitely the standouts of the field moving through race number 1 and race number 2. And now that they're not in the field because they're not in this sprint championship, this really does open up the door of opportunity for many drivers here. And I could see really anyone from the field of the GT3 Cup cars winning this race. So here is your starting grid then. Carlos Rivas then will be on pole position with Gillison in 2nd. Hoob van Eindhoven in 3rd. Nicholas van Dierendonk in 4th. The Verhovens then are in 5th position. Michael Kool is in 6th. We've got Bas Barenberg, Thierry Vermeulen in 7th and 8th position. Stephen Van Rie and Alexander Godin are in 9th and 10th. And then we've got Van Leer and Redant in 11th position. There is the famed Nürburgring sign, home of the Nordschleife. One of the most famous race circuits in the world. Some more fans there. Do they know they're on the screen? Yes, they do. We're going to get a wave? Will we get a wave? You see the shock on her face there. Oh my God, I'm supposed to be at work. They're going to know. Oh, it's kiss cam. Oh, how romantic. Okay, a bit too much. Let's get back to the racing. That didn't get weird at all. Heading then out of the Schumacher S's onto the final sector here then, or near at the final sector of this very famed racing circuit before we do embark upon 55 minutes of racing action. Hopefully we get some door banging, some side-by-side action. Exciting times. For the last time that marshal will be holding up that grid sign. Again, massive shout out to all of the marshals around the circuit. Without them, we do not get the racing. Great to see some cars back on circuit. So we don't ever want to take this for granted ever again. Oh, this camera shot we haven't seen before. There is the track layout then. 5.1 kilometers. so around about 3.5 miles. And the pace car, what did he pull away now? Indicating. A Porsche driver indicating. Never thought I'd see the day. So Oscar Rivas then is on the inside here. And as we do indeed pan towards the grid, it'll be on the left-hand side of your screen. So there we go, left-hand side of your screen, the light blue and the grey. And it'll be Gillison in second position with livery of the weekend. You can see the red lights then on your screen. And we go green, racing here. And Huub van Eindhoven is already trying to make a move here. He's making a charge. And it might be 3 wide before they get to turn number 1. And Huub actually had to back out there. Rivas being very, very aggressive with his line into turn 1. But he's made a mistake again. We've seen it time after time from Carlos Rivas this week. But the Luxembourgish driver is now going to rectify that mistake and hold on to P1. But look at this. Huub van Eindhoven is into P2. And the big loser there was Gillison, down in towards turn number 3. And what a start it has been. A very, very good start. Van Dierendonk, by the way, up into P4 by the looks of things, and actually has displaced the Verhovens. So Verhoeven, Jean-Pierre Verhoeven, finds himself down in P5 as it stands. We've got Michael Kuhl then in P6. We've got some hellacious action happening in the background then with our GT4 Clubman Sports. And, well, it's going to be a late lunge up the inside here, potentially, by Godin. Godin then just loses out in that yellow and purple. Again, I'm quite fond of yellow and purple. There's a colour scheme together. But we are in our final race of the weekend, down through the hairpin for the very first time. And, well, it was Carlos Rivas who made a bit of a mistake in towards turn number 1, run a little bit wide, but he holds on to the lead, and that's the most important thing. As we head then out of the Schumacher S's, you see that Gillison's the one. Gillison's proper lost out here. He's going to be absolutely gutted. But he'll try his level best to get back up in position. And there is the number 700. The team of Sven van Leer and Ayrton Redant. And apparently, his dog Olga wants him to race full-time next season. What can I say? I've been told to say that. So I'm sorry, Ayrton. I've been told to say that. I'd already mentioned it once, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for the PCCB crew. Around the final corner we come then. We're all about having fun, eh? This is what motorsports is all about. And already Carlos Rivas has got himself a lovely little gap here. 1.2 seconds then ahead of Van Eindhoven. Gillison 6/10 behind Van Eindhoven. And then we've got Van Dierendonk, who's about half a second behind as well. So these three all battling for second spot. Rivas has found his breaking point in his turn 1. But that is the one thing. His pace has been absolutely incredible. But he's just been struggling to find his breaking points. And that's cost him a few times during this weekend, to be honest. Gillison there running a little bit wide out onto the curb. Manages to indeed set himself up nicely though for turn number 3. So he's not going to have lost too much positional time. In the number 11 there. Just in behind Huub van Eindhoven. Again, you see Carlos Rivas leading the way. And these three in behind, all battling for position. As we come down in towards that hairpin then. Van Eindhoven in a clear second position now. So we've seen him 2 weeks in a row. We saw him last week at Assen. And now we're seeing him here once again racing. And it's great to see him. And oh, it's a big mistake there by Gillison. Runs off circuit, grabs a load of gravel. That's going to be thrown onto the circuit as well. And actually, hell of a save. Hell of a save there from Gillison, because that could have been really messy. But we're going to get a replay to start here. Look at that. Look at Huub van Eindhoven moving over straight away to try and take a position for the lead, actually, from third on the grid. And straight away, Carlos Rivas is like, nope, not today. And he wasn't aware of the situation on his left-hand side as well here. So Gillison gets on the brakes very, very early. Gets boxed out then by Huub van Eindhoven. Eindhoven goes up the inside. And you think, well, Eindhoven's got an opportunity here. But the momentum that Carlos Rivas carries through turn 1 is something quite magical. And there we go, basking in the sun here, in the glory while the race is going on. It's good to see that, you know, these fans have stayed for the entirety of this race, this being the final race of the weekend here. So we've got 51 minutes left to go of this race, of course, with the mandatory pit stop in the middle. And Rivas leads now 1.2 seconds, 7/10 of a second between second and third, and it's around about 8/10 then between third and fourth. So the gaps are starting to increase, but the front four are able to drive away here. And actually, to be fair, Carlos Rivas just lost a bit out into turn number 1. So Huub van Eindhoven may be starting to pile on that pressure. So we come through sector number 1. See exactly how wide that is there on the exit. So many different lines through sector number 1 as well. You can lose time, you can gain time. It's a crazy part of the circuit. Michael Kuhn out to P5 as well, by the way. So he's made a move on Jean-Pierre Verhoeven. And again, the only unique situation really in this race is that the number 9 car does have 2 drivers. So one of them is obviously going to be a little bit slower than the other. And I believe that Jackson Verhoeven is the quicker of the 2 drivers. So Jackson is going to be in the car second here. So we might see him make some moves and shakes at the second half of this race. It's all about whether Jean-Pierre can just keep him within, or keep them within touching distance of the cars in front. The pit window is going to open in 15 minutes time. So you're looking at what? 8 laps? 8 laps time. If Verhoeven could keep them in a prime position towards the top 5, you'd expect Jackson to really pile the pressure on. You'd expect them also to come into the pits very, very early as well to give the maximum amount of time to the faster driver. But that remains to be seen, as we've got a nice little battle here then between Steven Van Rij and indeed the Alexander Godin in the GT4s. Got the number 72 there. Cayman GT4 Club Sport cars battling for position, which is good to see. Whether that's going to happen for the entirety of the 55 minutes, well, it remains to be seen. Well, Van Eindhoven has gained a little bit of time here, but the biggest mover here is Gillison. So Gillison is now only 4 tenths behind P2. He's got to be clever here. He's got to realise very, very quickly that Huub van Eindhoven is going faster than the race leader. And if he does recognise that, if he doesn't have too much pressure from behind of Van Dierendonck, then they can all work together here to close up to that leader. And then we really will have a big, big old battle for the win in this race. So Gillison, who's had a pretty poor start here, unfortunately, did start on the front row of the grid, now finds himself in 3rd. Actually, just seems like he is flying right now, actually. He's flashing the lights there, and he is not going to be holding back any punches here. He thinks it's a long race. I'm going to get into P2 and chase down the race leader. But again, if he recognises that Huub's a little bit faster than the race leader, he can potentially battle with both of them. Just doesn't want to lose too much touch with Carlos Rivas, because they've got a little bit of slipstream to be working with right now. But if these two start going side by side, they're going to lose that opportunity, and it's only going to have a detrimental effect towards the rest of their race. Front 4 are pretty close. 5th is not too far behind, but it is still then Carlos Rivas, who started on pole, who leads out this race. The only change of position really at the front end is between P2 and P3, as they've swapped positions. Van Dierendonck up to P4 from P6, so he's moved up a couple of spots. And it's Jean-Pierre Verhoeven who's moved down the most, dropped down in 2 positions. So 4 tenths of a second still separating these 2 drivers. Not really close enough to gain enough slipstream to work something up towards this final chicane. But you can see visibly that Huub van Eindhoven is closing in on the race leader. So the front 4 are getting very, very close. Michael Kuhl, though, is in 5th position. He'll be hoping that they do indeed keep closing up, start battling with each other so he can close up. But yes, the front 4 are very, very close indeed right now. Still got this battle then in the background with our Cayman GT4 Club Sport cars. It looks like Godin's just got a little bit of a breathing space to work with from Steven Van Rij. But Van Rij is not letting him go at all. As you can see then, Rivas leads the way, although the graphics have now just disappeared off my screen. Around the final corner then. Well, we're just about heading towards the 10-minute mark of this race. And like I said, the pit window will indeed open. And also for drivers that are behind the leader here, for drivers like Huub van Eindhoven, if he's being held up, if Gillison's being held up and feels like he can go a little bit faster, you're going to see these drivers come in as early as they can in the pit stop window. And also, if the drivers in front of them, who they feel are going a little bit slower, come in, they'll stay out. So they'll try and indeed do either the undercut or the overcut. So it's going to be really exciting to see how that plays out as well. It's all on the teams as well there, but you'll see the stopwatches out, you'll see all sorts. We saw this with a Goodyear 60 on Friday evening. So a bit of a mistake there, actually, by Godin. And Van Ree, not really close enough to take full advantage there. As Godin runs wide again. Well, did he take advantage this time? He has to get on the brakes here, so he's not quite close enough. Down towards turn number 3, though. They do go through side by side, braking at identical times here as well. And there you go. Position taken. Position done. And Stephen Van Ree is now ahead of Alexander Godin. Those two are having a great little tussle here. So look at this, there's another mistake here. So just trying to indeed gain a little bit too much time. So Alexander Godin there losing out. On board then with Carlos Rivas. Still leading this race, but look how close Hoob is in behind him. Hoob is very, very close indeed. So we've got a warning then for car 919, and that is indeed Michael Cool, currently in P5. He's just had a warning, he must respect the track limits. But it is indeed Carlos Rivas that leads the way here. He's done beautifully well to lead out. So he got himself about a 1.4 second advantage. It's now been chipped away. It's a long race here again, so you don't want to really exert too much of your energy. That's for certain. Early in this race, it's very hot conditions as well. The track's probably in the best conditions it's been so far in terms of grip. But then you've got to factor in that the track temperature has been baking in the sun all day today. So it's going to be pretty slick as well. But Carlos Rivas doing a stellar job right now. And actually, Michael Cool is genuinely closing in now. So there is a genuine top 5. I really think the pit stop phase is going to be vital in this race. So only 8 minutes till it opens. And for sure, you're going to see at least either Hoob or Gillison. One of those two drivers are going to come in straight away. It's very much like rallycross, where you take a joker lap with a mandatory pit stop. Especially when you don't have to change anything. And you have to sit there for 2 minutes. You've got to try and factor in whether you are faster with clearer air. But Carlos Rivas is a little bit further ahead now than what he was previously. Front 5 though, almost covered in with a blanket. They're pretty close. So it's a long race here. Reliability is going to be a huge factor as well. Rivas leads, 0.9 seconds now in the lead. 0.8 seconds then further back is Gillison. Van Donk is 2 seconds off the full lead here. Michael Cool finds himself 3.9. Then we've got Verhoeven, who's 9.1 seconds. But keep an eye on Verhoeven. Jackson has got some real good pace. So Jackson might be able to claw some time back. And I believe they will come into the pits pretty early. Van Eindhoven then, who in the first part of this race, first couple of laps, didn't look like he had some serious pace, and then suddenly closed up onto the back of the leader. Now just dropping back ever so slightly again. Down towards that hairpin then, 41 minutes remaining on the clock. Michael Cool is the dark horse here for me. Oh, big mistake again by Gillison. That's not the first time he's done that. And yeah, again, didn't lose too much time. That can't be good. Honestly, if I receive another tweet about Ayrton Redant's dog Olga, or another WhatsApp message, oh man. What is this dog the king of Belgium or something? What is going on about this dog? Everyone's so excited. I've mentioned this dog twice during this broadcast. Maybe get the dog in the car, Jeff. Let's get the dog in the car for next season. Well, that's hello to Ayrton's dog, Olga, for the 3rd time today. 40 minutes, 30 seconds to go. And well, in the lead, we do indeed have Carlos Rivas still leading. Who van Eindhoven has indeed closed up a little bit more, I would say. Similar gap. I guess we will actually have the delta pop up here. It's 1 second. 1 second advantage. Gillison 2.2 and 3 seconds off the lead is our 4th place driver. But yeah, honestly, the amount of tweets I've received about Ayrton Redant's dog Olga this weekend and WhatsApp messages is being crazy. But yeah, I've mentioned the dog a few times. Don't worry about it. I've mentioned the dog. We're watching there again. Livery of the weekend for me. Gillison in P3. Started P2, so lost a position here, as we are indeed on board with our leaders. And you can see then, actually Gillison's now under a little bit of pressure from Van Dierendonk. I'll tell you, Gillison's struggling here, and I'm wondering if that might have been something to do with the gravel there. Maybe a potential slow puncture here, because he really has dropped off the pace. And Van Dierendonk has closed right into the back. Really closed into the back here. So has Gillison got an issue? That left rear looks like it's got a problem. So the pace drop-off is huge. The pit window isn't open, so still got another 4 minutes until the pit window is open. But I think there's a problem here with Gillison's car. Van Dierendonk then will want to try and get this overtake done as quickly as possible. But we did see him twice now. We've seen him dip the left tyres into the gravel. I'm just wondering whether he might have some sort of slow puncture here. He is for sure losing a lot of time. And Van Dierendonk needs to recognise if this is a problem, but he gets this done as soon as possible, because they really have dropped off the front two. Who van Eindhoven, though, is very, very close indeed. Great camera shots there. Great camera shot opportunity, that's for sure. Let's have a look at the left rear. Is there a slow puncture? Maybe not. Doesn't look like there is. There's definitely something not quite right, though. Well, now, Jeff, you've got to tweet me. You've got to tweet me to say that you're happy that I've mentioned the dog. Come on, toe the line, Jeff. Thanks for getting involved on Twitter, though. Do appreciate that. And yeah, this does seem like this championship, in terms of the organisers and all of the drivers and the teams, seems like a really close-knit sort of community feel to it, which would be really, really nice to be involved in. So again, thank you here. I think there's a slow puncture. I still believe that there is a slow puncture on that Porsche. It just doesn't look quick anymore. Again, the pit window will open. They'll have to do at least one more lap. But it's very close between the front two. As it stands, it's very, very close between the front two. Van Dierendonk, though, not able to get past Gillison. And well, meanwhile, while Gillison's losing that time, Van Dierendonk's obviously going to lose it as well if he's not going to get past. So Van Eindhoven, I think you'll find here, when the pit window opens, he's going to do the complete opposite on the first opportunity of asking of what Carlos Rivas does. I feel like he's got more pace here, and if he had some clear air, he might be able to prove that point. So the pit window is not open, so it should open the next time they come around this circuit. So they're all good. The pit window will open next time they come around the circuit. Gillison seems fine again now. Michael Cool, though, closing up to Van Dierendonk. So this is the battle for P4, and Van Dierendonk's got a terrible exit out the final chicane. Around the final corner, though. Again, not really quite close enough there. Just trying to play with the mind of the driver in front. But we've now got 36 minutes on the clock. So next time they come around the pit lane, it will be open. So Rivas then is in P1. P2 for Van Eindhoven. Gillison is in P3. Cool in P4. Cool in P5, sorry. Van Dierendonk's P4. Verhoeven is in P6. 13.2 seconds off the lead. Is that going to give too much work for Jackson to do? I think it probably will, but you never know. So who Van Eindhoven then doing my pet hate of flashing the lights in behind another driver. but that's what they do. Carlos Rivas has just done what he needed to do. So qualified pole, started pole. He's still in first position. But Huub van Eindhoven is in very close proximity here. It's all about what's going to happen here in the pit window. You can see there that Huub van Eindhoven is really taking liberties with the curbs. He's trying to force Carlos Rivas to really think about his strategy now. So what's going to go down here? So it's all about whether Rivas comes in. So if Rivas comes in, you know Huub's staying out. If Rivas stays out, then Huub van Eindhoven's going to come in. I think it'd be really silly if he doesn't here. He's definitely the quicker of the two drivers. Just the jet washed air from in front is costing him. Here we go then, round the final corners. And has the decision been made by anybody? Well, no, neither driver's come in. So neither driver's come into the pits here. And maybe Huub thinks he can get it done out on track, which is good for us. We want to see this this kind of action for sure. No worries, Jeff. Hopefully you've enjoyed the broadcast, my friend. Olga, the King of Belgium. Yeah, I just made up the country there. So as it stands then, Carlos Rivas still leads the way. Again, I'm pretty sure the pit window's open. I've got no indication here to me actually to say that it has been. So maybe I'm wrong. So maybe the pit window is the 30-minute mark, and I'm wrong. But from the documents I got, I will get that checked for you. Obviously, I don't want to have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 35 to 25. I'm pretty sure that the pit window's open, so it just makes no sense for him not to have come in, to be honest. We're on board then with Gillison, again, best livery of the weekend, fact. I will keep mentioning that. 32 minutes, 40 seconds still to go. And as they embark upon that final straight here, well, it's not, again, it's not a straight, but it is flat out. Through the elbow they come. As we come up then towards that final chicane. Huub van Eindhoven keeps closing up. We're just not getting quite close enough here to indeed make a move. And they both stay out once again. So Rivas still leads half a second then the advantage. Huub van Eindhoven is really piling that pressure on though. He's not giving him a moment's rest here. Gillison's now dropped down 4.7 seconds. Again, it was a front five that was so close at the start of this race. But unfortunately, it's not quite worked out that way. But again, we've still got the pit stop phase to come, so plenty of action can happen there. And oh, Huub van Eindhoven then just had to back out there. Looks like Carlos Rivas has just got on the brake a little bit early. And well, we've seen a few incidents like that this weekend with Carlos. He just really has struggled with the braking. But Huub van Eindhoven is close now. The light's being flashed by Eindhoven. He wants to get this move done on this lap if he possibly can. As we get another look here at the usage of the curbs. Again, the only warning we've had right now is Michael Kuhl, the number 919. He's been told to respect the track limits. So other than that, all of these drivers have been absolutely golden. So it's good to see them all respecting the rules and regulations. Nice to see some replay slow-mos. This has been a very good performance from the Luxembourg driver. Huub van Eindhoven. He's not going to worry about any sort of sentiment here. for Carlos. He will be gunning for the victory. That is a fact. As they come up then towards that final chicane once again. I'm wondering whether the tyres might start to drop off here. You say so much curb usage here as well. And neither of them have come in again. So I'm starting to worry now whether I've been given false information here. And as to whether now the pit window's open. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out live. Live during the race. Rivas still leading out then. Another mistake then into turn number 1, but Eindhoven not able to get the power early enough. And I think this battle could be a race-long battle. So again, they get held in the pits for 2 minutes. So they'll both be held in the pits for exactly the same amount of time here. So it's all about whether one of them is going to split the strategy. And again, once they decide, Eindhoven has to split the strategy for me. Really has to split this strategy. Just do whatever Rivas does differently. Just do the opposite. Here we go. So we finally have got our first car coming into the pits then. And that is Jean-Pierre, who is in the pits. And Jackson comes in. And I've just had it confirmed. Thank you, Olivier, that the pit window is open. So there you go. We've seen it. Now we get text about it. You love to see it. Again, thank you for all of the support from the Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux team. They have been the best in terms of giving me preparation for any championship I've ever casted on. They've even given me information about people's dogs. You've got to respect it. So thank you very much for all of the preparation help. It's very, very much appreciated. 28 minutes, 30 seconds to go then. And well, just a few checks on the car here, making sure that everything's okay. They've got plenty of time to do so. They've got to hold this car in there for that amount of time. And well, now it's going to be down to Jackson. Jackson to go and get the onions here. And as you can see here, we've got a car being lapped. It's going to let them both go through. No, it's not. Huub van Eindhoven is going to be absolutely furious, but he decides to come into the pits then. Pretty sure he's just decided to come into the pits. Does everybody come in? That's the question. So as we go around the final corner, and yes, they've both come in. So Oscar Rivas is in the pits as well. Oh no, is that Oscar that's just gone past? Where's Rivas? No, Rivas is just ahead. So again, I find that really strange. I think strategically it would have made a lot more sense for him to have split that. And well, we've got some joggers on the track here. Always going to make sure you keep fit. So that's wouldn't be running across the pit lane. It's not a place you want to be running across. So pit window is officially open. So it was the 30-minute mark. Now we know for next time. If I'm ever in a position to cast this beautiful championship again, now we know. Now we know. So these are the race leaders on your screen right now then. We've got Carlos Rivas in that blue and grey car. And then just in behind, we've got Huub van Eindhoven. Perfect opportunity for an Instagram post. Why not? Mid-race. As we look on board here then with Alexander Godin. Here we were. Oh dear. That's a big off. Seen a couple of cars though go off there this weekend. We've seen a few cars go off there this weekend actually. A couple of them haven't survived and they've gone into the barrier. And very rarely that happens where they manage to save the car. And actually that's a testament to the skill of the driver. So Godin, very, very good work there by him to keep hold of the car. And probably will end up coming into the pits now to not only change the windshield, to not only change a few other things, but maybe to change some trousers. So here we go, the battle for the lead. They're being let out of the pits here. And actually, I think Michael Kool has jumped Van Dierendonk. So Michael Kool here might be P3. So out the pits they come then. Carlos Rivas leads, and no, that's the number 700. So that is Sven van Leer and Ayrton Rodan. They're in the GT4s. So yeah, my mistake there. Got very similar looking cars then. But Carlos Rivas leads the way, and then in behind them, we've got Hoob van Eindhoven. So if it's going to be done, it's going to be done on circuit. Eindhoven knows that now. They both know what jobs they've got to do. And actually, you see that Eindhoven may be struggling with the tyre temperatures there, as indeed he's just lost a few tenths. And it looks like there might be a problem here then for Gillison, because he was not this far back. And, well, I said that there might be some sort of slow puncture or something like that, but there was definitely an issue. And actually, Michael Cool as well. So Michael Cool has got an issue. They have not come out the pits quickly at all. Although to be fair, they've pit a lap later, so they're ahead. Sorry, they're of course ahead. So they've pit a lap later. Oh my lord. So much action to go through here in the Carrera Sprint Cup. The Benelux edition. But yeah, of course, they've come in a lap later. So where indeed will they be? So they were around about 5 seconds behind the leaders. Will they be anywhere near? Has that extra lap helped them? Or has it hindered them? As indeed we are going to see the race leaders then in the background. As we see some fans then on the big screen. Are we going to get a wave? No, we're not. We're going to get an itch of the face. And that is about it. Okay. Here we go then. They're about to come back out here. Stopwatch is on. We saw the race leaders coming up towards that final chicane. So they're not going to be far behind. And there we go. Gillison comes back out here. And where is he going to filter in? Well, there are the race leaders. And they are comfortably going to be ahead. And actually, the one person who's had a huge favour from this situation, it is going to be Carlos Rivas. So Carlos Rivas has done the best out of this now. He's got a nice 1 second advantage over Hoob van Eindhoven. We know that Hoob van Eindhoven could become Hoover van Eindhoven, hoover up that time and take the lead of this race. So with only 23 minutes to go, will we see a battle for the lead? That is the main question right now. Looks like it's going to be between two drivers, so plenty of time for them. They're going to have at least 10 laps, 11 laps maybe. It will definitely be 11 laps actually. 11, potentially 12. Into the pits then. Pops in Baz Barenbrug. Getting some cool air into the car's engine. And I'll tell you what, for a car that's done 3 races this weekend, it looks in absolute pristine condition still. That matte grey with the yellow finish, or the lime yellow finish, or luminous, I guess would be the correct word, does look in absolute pristine condition. As we indeed have the number 69, Thierry Vermeulen, come out the pits. Nice. So Barenbrug has just got to stay in the pits there. Say, ideally, it'd be nice if we could see the leaders, but you know, it is what it is. That is old school. It's got a stopwatch on an old iPhone. The number 72 then decides to come in to the pits now, and that is Steven Van Ree, who still have a very, very cool battle with Godin. And there is Godin. Again, in that very, very nice yellow and purple. And here we go then. So Hoob van Eindhoven has closed the gap. So normal service resumed then. He's got 21 minutes to try and get past Carlos Rivas. This could be a very cool battle indeed. The flashing of the lights, though, again, hasn't affected Carlos so far. So for me, I'll just stop doing it. Just concentrate on making the overtake. Don't worry about flashing the lights. He's not making any mistakes. You're not forcing the mistake by flashing lights. But you never know. Down in towards the hairpin. And Hoob van Eindhoven again not able to find that small gap. Again, not really close enough. And at this point, you've got to just tip your hat to Carlos Rivas because he's managed the gap perfectly well. He's not left any doors open or anything like that. He's just been really, really classy in his performance. Again, still plenty of time to go. 20 minutes to go in this race, so that could all change. But again, a very classy performance. But Huub van Eindhoven, again, last week was used to chasing down cars to get podiums. And this week, he's looking down to chase down a potential race win. Through the elbow, up towards that final chicane. And again, just looks like Huub has some real pace in terms of the braking zone, but outright pace across the track, Carlos Rivas is just able to utilize the car a little bit better. But I tell you what, this is as close as they've been then, as they head around the final corner. The green car being the Van Eindhoven, and the blue and black car, the Black Falcon team, being Carlos Rivas. And there's a hot air balloon. Lovely. How high is that? Wow. Nope. That is a whole lot of nope for me. No thank you. This is what I want to be watching. Actually, we saw this earlier in the race as well. Very similar, where Carlos Rivas, not brake checked, but leaned on his experience, I guess would be the correct term. Just braking a little bit earlier there for turn 3. And it just gives him a little bit of breathing room, because Huub was right behind him, but now, again, a couple of car lengths back. And they've actually got a GT4 car to work with here. Through the hairpin they go. And that is going to be Godin in front of them, isn't it? So it all depends where Rivas catches him as to whether Huub can make full or take full advantage of this situation. So heading into the final 15 minutes of this race. So it's a long race here, 55 minutes. And these two have been going at it for the entirety of it. So we might see some mental fatigue as well. But the ending of this race is going to be absolutely fascinating. So around that final corner, and the GT4, the Club Sport Cayman, has cost Huub here at least. 0.7 seconds now is the lead. Again, flashing those lights here. Not sure how much he's really going to see of that, considering it's pretty light out here. But again, Huub's just able to close that gap through the technical parts of the circuit. A little bit further back here, so he could go for his late braking that he's been doing and close the gap, and he has done. So I think Van Eindhoven has got to seize this opportunity. It's taken about 10 minutes for him to get up into this position. Does not want to fall back and have to do all the hard work again. Oh, we've got a bit of wildlife here. So we had a wasp on Friday. And here, we've got a blackbird. Huub van Eindhoven, though, he's not going to be too worried about the blackbird on the side of the circuit. He wants to try and get the lead of this race. The number 6, though, Carlos Rivas, again, a very, very mature drive from him thus far. He's not going to let this go easy, that is for certain. 16 minutes still remaining here. 4 tenths between the two. And this is for the first time. I think they're close enough for a potential dive up the inside. We know that Huub's a little bit better on the brakes. Not quite close enough here. No, he's not. So he actually pulls out to open up the final chicane. But he's forced Carlos to go in there very acutely, which is going to cost him a little bit of time. Again, not much between these two drivers as it stands. Gillison is in P3 on the podium as it stands as well. So he'll be hoping that these two really do go at it and maybe give himself an opportunity of closing up to pinch it from both of them. But across the line they go, and it's 0.3 seconds now the advantage. There you go, you can see Gillison in the background. So yeah, he'll be loving this, that these two are close to each other. It's the only way he's really going to get back into this race. Rivas runs a little bit wide, but again, not the worst line. Leaves the door open through turn 2. Realises very quickly that actually I need to close that up. And then there's Gillison just in 3rd position. Van Dierendonk then is in 4th. Michael Kuhl is in 5th spot. There's Godin, who's in an overall P10. He's a lap down though. Different class. But there's Gillison all on his own. So hopefully we don't miss an overtake potential with Hoob and indeed Carlos. 14 minutes 30 seconds. You see that the shadows are growing longer. We're moving towards the evening of time here in Germany. We've got a roundabout, I would say, at the end of this lap, 7 laps to go. And there he is, still the lead then, battle between Rivas and Hoob van Eindhoven. Eindhoven we know is capable of an overtake around the outside. Oh, there's the contact between the front two, there's yellow flags then. And well, that is not how you wanted to see the overtake there. We'd need to see that in a replay. But did you hear the tyres screaming there? And well, Hoob had one opportunity to make an overtake, and he's taken him ages to get into a position to do so. And well, I need to see a replay to see exactly what happened. That happened far too quickly. And now, what's going on here? Oh dear, yeah, you can see then that Van Eindhoven has tried to make the move around the outside, and Carlos has squeezed him and kind of pit maneuvered himself. And we've got a car off the circuit here. That is Michael Kuhl. And he's not going to get beached, is he? No, he's all good. He's going to keep the car going, thankfully. So no safety car. So all good. But yeah, Carlos Rivas then down into P2. So for my money there, it was kind of more of a racing incident. I think Van Eindhoven's tried to go around the outside. We've seen him do that a few times this weekend. And Carlos has tried to squeeze him. And maybe squeeze a little bit too much. The race lead now is Hoob van Eindhoven's. We haven't seen any investigation messages pop up, so I will keep you in the loop as to whether that is going to be the case. But now, the race lead is Hoob's. Carlos Rivas is going to have to try and close in. His tyres are going to be flat-spotted. They're going to be screaming at him in terms of temperature due to sliding across the track in the severity that he did. Well, very unfortunate there. I would love to have seen a couple of laps when he went side by side and really went at it, but it's not quite going to work out that way. Gillison, by the way, is still in P3, but he's close now to Rivas because of that. So potentially we could see that happen. And well, actually, Michael Kuhl has been overtaken here by Jackson Verhoeven. So Verhoeven, for my money, now is in P5. In behind Van Dierendonk and in behind Gillison. So Michael Kuhl's now down to P6 after being in P5 for the entirety of this race, pretty much. So only 12 minutes to go. A couple of fans there up in the stands. And that's the point. There we go. There's the wave. All three here. Big respect. That's what it's all about. On board then with the number 700. Sven van Leer and Ayrton Redant. Redant will be in the car. And no doubt be a little bit worried about his dog. Because everyone seems to be talking about the dog. Going to be a little bit worried that someone hasn't kidnapped it, if it's that famous. The racing right now in that 700. Have we got a investigation? So under investigation then, yes we do. Incident between car number 6 and the car number 140. So Hoob van Eindhoven and indeed Carlos Rivas is being investigated here. And there we go. So incident between the two cars. There's going to be no further action, which I called. It looked like a racing incident to me more than anything. It was like Carlos Rivas pretty much pit maneuvered himself. And yeah, it is what it is. Huub van Eindhoven doesn't look to have any damage to the car. Looks like it's going to be a pretty damn good win for him. He's been chasing down Carlos the entire race. We've got 10 minutes, 30 seconds to hang on. So no mistakes, and he's going to be all good. Comes out the exit then of the hairpin up towards the Schumacher S's once again. It's been a good couple of weekends here, a couple of podiums last week at Assen in a Supercar Challenge Championship, and then with the very same car, looks like he's going to pick up a race victory here. Stellar stuff from Huub van Eindhoven. Them with the number 69. Nice. Thierry Vermeulen. Can you say those numbers without saying nice afterwards now? That's the law, right? Pretty sure it's the law. There's a cameraman there. What a mighty big lens you have there, cameraman. Van Eindhoven then. 21 laps into this race. 5.2 second advantage. Gillison now closing in on Rivas. It's about 3.5 seconds. Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. I can assure you of that. If there's any wishes or anything you would like to speak about during the towards the end of this stream, you can indeed tweet me as well. So tweet me at ActualVision, #AskLuke. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts of the weekend's been. Have you enjoyed the Porsche Cup Series? There's been a Lotus Series. We've had the GTC Championship. We've had the DTM trophies. And of course, with the main event, we've had the DTMs this weekend. So if you have enjoyed it, we've got 8 minutes left. So if you want to get yourself involved in the chat, let me know where from around the world you're watching. It is at ActualVision on Twitter. Let's get the conversation started with 8 minutes to go here. And wow, you can see there's almost a little bit of contact between the GT4 and the GT3 Cup car. Through the S's then, and well, basically at this point of the race, if you're Huub van Eindhoven, it's no mistakes now to the end. Pick up that trophy, drink in that champagne. The weekend has been a good one. But with pressure comes mistakes. He managed to hold it together last week, so we can lean on that experience. But this week's a different week, it's a different track, different conditions. But the sustained pressure that he put on Carlos Rivas for, what, 35 minutes, says to me that he has got this in the bank. No problem whatsoever. 7 minutes, 30 seconds remain on the clock here. So for my money, it's going to be 4 laps remaining around this final corner. So yeah, it will be 4 laps remaining of this race once he crosses the line. Well, victory is looking very good then for Huub van Eindhoven. Across the line he will go then. 22 laps. How far then is behind is Rivas? It was 5.1 and now it's 5.6, so it is indeed growing. So Eindhoven did have the more pace, and actually now 3.6, sorry, is it 3.6? 3.6, 4 seconds then is Gillison in behind Rivas. So Gillison not really closing the gap. Van Dierendonck then finds himself in P4, 18.1 seconds off the pace of the leader. And then the next car to come through will be Jackson Verhoeven, I would imagine. Will be in P5. We've got a replay here then. And well, he's trying to lap the slower class driver here. Actually, slower class driver ran off circuit and then came back on. But yeah, nothing too crazy done there. All good. So 3.5 laps remaining. And what are these lads up to? Is that a tank behind them? Or is it a skip? Well, we're going to find out now. It looks like a skip, actually. See, they're all packing up now. Again, shout out to everybody who has helped put these events on. So this year's been pretty much a big write-off, considering the world pandemic that we are in right now, which sucks for everybody. But you know, all of these racing organizations, all of the tracks, all of the marshals that help put these events on, I tip my hat to you. We are getting back to normal. It's great to see that some of the fans are able to come and watch now as well. And like, yeah, this sets us up nicely for next year. So this year's not been ideal for everybody. And again, the biggest shout out has to go to the drivers and the teams, because for some of these teams, it just really is not profitable to be racing during a pandemic. You know, that's why we're having, you know, less numbers on the grids for pretty much all motorsport industries right now. But the ones that are indeed putting their cars on the track gives us the entertainment that we all crave. So yeah, huge shout out to all of them. Not long to go in this race. Not long to go at all. Talking of dogs, there's a dog there on the front of Van Dierendonk's car. Across the line then for the number 63, 4 minutes 40 seconds to go. So 3 laps remaining then of our weekend here at the Nürburgring GP. Hopefully you've all had a bit of fun today. Thank you, Boris. Really appreciate the nice, kind comments. Just tweeted in. He says, think Carlos's car is the only one out there without ABS. So skill is there, spot on. Nice commentary, Duke. I appreciate that. Thanks for getting involved, mate. Hopefully you've enjoyed the whole weekend of action here on DTM.grid. And this initiative that DTM are putting on every single week, where we are casting all of the support series, I think has been a really nice initiative. Really does give, you know, not only the drivers but the teams, the sponsors, a little bit of spotlight, but it also gives a little bit of light entertainment for you. As you all know by now, I've been doing this for 4 weeks. I'm not your conventional commentator. I like to have a bit of fun. I like to find the funny side of racing sometimes as well. But ultimately, I'm a motorsports fan. I love this. So yeah, great to have a lot of you involved, and yeah, long may it continue. We're back next week, actually. I'm back next week. It's my 3rd week in a row. We've got a triple header that comes to its climax next week. And then finally, I'll get a day off. Oh, God. Get to have a day off. That's going to be a fun weekend. May even have a couple of refreshments that weekend. As we come across the line, then, we're going to start the penultimate lap of today's race. Hoob van Eindhoven, who indeed did put the pressure on. Regardless of the incident, I think Hoob had the pace to definitely be there, and you see it's now 6.6 seconds. Of course, these drivers may have damage to the cars, the tyres are overheated, but well, actually the gap's coming down here. It's now only 2.3 seconds between Rivas and Gillison. So Gillison, he's found party mode here. Is he potentially going to be able to take P2 away from Carlos Rivas? Who the hell knows? And I just realised this Boris Milovic, who's just messaged me, he's actually a professional racing driver for Porsche in a 24-hour series. So if anyone knows about the specs and the specifics about these cars, well, he's definitely going to know. So again, thank you for getting involved, mate. Really, again, appreciate that. The Hoob van Eindhoven, 2nd week in a row. He is performing superbly well. A class win last week, 2 podiums last week. He's done a very, very good job this week so far. And well, he's going to cap it all off with the champagne, the taste of champagne, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes here. Through the Schumacher S as we go. Well, he is looking golden here. And you can see that the lights are having more and more of an effect here, as indeed it does head a little bit towards dusk. You see the shadows are really long now. And there's something quite magical about racing into dusk. The shadows on the track. It's just something you rarely see, because most racing series are during the middle of the day. The sun's at the height of it's at the peak, as you know, as high as it can be above the circuit. But as it indeed we head later into the day, it just, I don't know, something quite romantic about it in terms of motorsport. The sun glare there off the rear wing. Rivas then, I think, needs to pull his finger out here, although they've only got 1 lap remaining. Should be okay. Just manage it to the end. So he's got a couple of seconds to work with. I don't think Gillison's quite close enough here. So the front 3 are pretty much nailed on here to get a podium, unless there is some major incident. But we're on to the final lap here of our Porsche Carrera Cup Sprint Series for the Benelux. And well, Carlos Rivas would have loved to have got the race win today. A little bit of a mistake, I believe, on his part. Tried to squeeze Van Eindhoven a little bit too much. Again, it was put down into a racing incident, which I feel like I totally agree with. And ultimately, I don't think Van Eindhoven did anything wrong. So if there was anyone to blame, you know, it would have been Rivas, but he was the one who came off worse. So ultimately, that would have gone in the way of what the stewards would have given in terms of the punishment. So I feel like the driver in the lead right now, Huub van Eindhoven, definitely deserves his spot in the spotlight because he piled the pressure on. He piled it on for lap after lap, 35 minutes of total pressure. Rivas didn't break at all. He was so on the limit himself, but did not give one snifter of an opportunity until he did. And then Huub van Eindhoven took the lead of the race. Merely corners away then from the trophy, from the champagne, from standing on the top step of the podium. As we go along the back, the start finish straight here, up towards the elbow then for the very final time. And what a weekend it's been. What a way to cap things off. Again, it was a two-way battle for pretty much the entirety of this race until about 10 minutes ago when there was a little bit of contact. We've come through the final chicane. We've got one corner remaining. And, well, it was a couple of podiums last week, but this time it's going to be the top step of the podium. Round the final corner here at the Nürburgring GP. And your race winner for race 3 of the weekend is going to be Huub van Eindhoven. Congratulations to him. Great pressure put on, very well-deserved win. Carlos Rivas then will finish in second position. And, well, livery of the weekend, Gillison will finish in third spot there. 8.5 seconds separating the front three. They will get to do their parade lap. In fourth position then, probably my favourite name now in motorsport, Van Donk. And it's also a name I can pronounce, which is always fantastic. One of my friends is actually Dutch, and I had to get it confirmed that I was pronouncing it correctly this morning. And he's like, yeah, spot on. And saying that, he's my friend, and he's probably completely mugged me off there, and it's actually completely wrong. But we're going to go with it anyway. Verhoeven, then Jackson, manages to get an extra position then as the second driver in that car up to P5. Cool, Michael Cool. Really cool. Finishes in sixth. We've then got Barenbrug. Sorry, I've got Battenberg in my head. I like a cake. Barenbrug then in seventh position. So that's your top 7. And wow, what a spectacle it's been. It's been really nice to see the Porsches out in force here at the Nürburgring GP. I'm kind of a sucker for the Porsches in terms of racing. So it's been really nice to see. Again, all of these drivers will get their opportunity, or the top 3 drivers will get their opportunity to indeed do their parade lap. You can see taking the checkered flag then was Ayrton Redant, owner of the world's most famous dog. And there's the green flag. So here's a replay of the line crossing. And you see there the team all getting excited on the pit wall. And Huub van Eindhoven gets the job done. So I think we're about to see some official classifications pop up on screen. But now here's the incident. Yeah, nowhere near enough room left on the outside there for Van Eindhoven, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. I'm a commentator. So it was a great battle up until that point. It's just a lapse in judgment, I would say. Definitely not on Van Eindhoven. And there you go. Here is your official results then. Huub van Eindhoven finishes in P1. Carlos Rivas P2. Then we've got Gillison, Van Donk, Verhovens. We've then got Michael Kool, Bas Barenbrug. We've got Vermeulen, Van Rie, Godin. And then we've got Van Leer and Ayrton Redant finishing in P11. So here you go then, ladies and gentlemen. Here are your front 3. And wow, let's just give him the trophy now for best livery. Look at that livery. It's very, very sexy. It is Shillison then who finishes in P3 in the number 11. P2 then is going to go to Carlos Rivas. Led the most way, was in pole position, covered off nicely, but it wasn't to be enough. It's P2 though for Carlos Rivas, the man from Luxembourg. And well, a fan or a driver for the fans of the Dutchies, it is Hoob van Eindhoven who will pick up the victory here in the number 140. What a drive it was. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. They are now going to do the podium ceremony. I'm going to leave you with the podium ceremony because they've got their own MC there. I don't like talking over the MC. And also they've got the national anthems and all that good stuff. And you don't want to be hearing me when they've got that going on. I've had an absolute blast this weekend. Thank you for indeed enjoying the streams, if you did enjoy the streams, that is. And hopefully I'll be back with the Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux sometime in the future. Who knows? I've had a blast. Anyway, I've been Luke Crane, and I shall catch you all hopefully next time.
It's time to celebrate die letzte Siegerehrung dieses Rennwochenendes. Wir haben zwei unterschiedliche Wertungen gesehen bei diesem Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, die Sprint Challenge. Wir beginnen mit der GT3-Kategorie auf Platz 3 mit der Startnummer 11 vom Team PG Motorsport, Tijn Gillissen. Mit der Startnummer 6 für das Black Falcon Motorsport Team Carlos Rivas. Und der Gewinner in der GT3-Klasse heißt vom Team JW Race Service mit der Startnummer 140 Hoob van Eindhoven. Congratulations! Hören wir jetzt die niederländische Nationalhymne. Congratulations, and now for a short photo call, please lift your trophies. And then, gentlemen, it's time for champagne. Straight, but please don't drink it. Thank you very much for a great race. congratulations, all the winners of the last weekend. Ja, wir dürfen uns recht herzlich bedanken für euer Interesse, sagen vielen, vielen Dank. Wir sind aber ab nächsten Freitag nochmal hier am Nürburgring, dann zum 6. Rennwochenende der DTM mit pickepacke vollen Programm. Und natürlich hoffen wir auch wieder drauf, dass wir die Zuschauer begrüßen dürfen. Herzlichen Dank und noch einen schönen Restsonntag. Wünscht euch und Ihnen Christian Glück. Danke fürs Interesse. Ciao und Servus.